The story you're about to hear is one filled with mystery, sadness, and unanswered questions. Siyah Turner, a 17-year-old girl from Southern California, was a rising star on TikTok. She was known for her joyful energy, bright smile, and the videos that made millions of people laugh. But one night, her life was cut short in a way no one could predict it. On January 18, 2025, Siyah was shot outside the Los Cerritos Center Mall. She had just finished spending time with her friends, sharing a fun video on social media, and laughing like she always did. But within hours, the world would change forever. Siyah's fans, friends, and family were left with one big question. What happened that night? How did a young girl with so much promise end up in a parking lot with gunshot wounds? What led to her tragic death? Were her friends involved, or were they just innocent bystanders? And why has the investigation not revealed all the answers? This story starts with joy and ends in sorrow, but it doesn't stop there. The search for the truth continues, leaving people asking, will we ever know what truly happened to Siyah? If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's begin. Siyah Turner was just 17 years old when she became a TikTok star. She didn't need to be older to capture the attention of millions. From the moment she started posting, her funny, creative, and exciting videos took over the internet. Siyah's TikTok journey began when she started sharing short, fun videos with her friends. Her content was full of dancing, challenges, and everyday moments. People loved how she made things seem so easy and fun. From her cheerful personality to her smile that could light up any room, Siyah quickly gained followers. She had over 5 million people following her by the time she was just 17. In her videos, Siyah would do funny skits, show off new clothes, and sometimes even give her followers a peek into her personal life. She wasn't just another person on social media. She was someone people could relate to. The way she shared her thoughts and feelings made fans feel like they knew her personally. Siyah also loved fashion. She often posted about her favorite clothes, makeup, and accessories. Fans would ask her for tips on how to style certain outfits, and she loved helping them. This made her even more popular among people who love fashion and beauty. As Siyah's TikTok account grew, so did her popularity. It wasn't just her looks or dancing that attracted people. It was her personality. Siyah had this special way of making everyone feel happy. Her energy was contagious, and fans couldn't get enough of her videos. Fans would often comment things like, "You make me laugh every day," or "Your smile brightens my day." Siyah had a way of making people feel good, no matter what kind of day they were having. This is why so many people loved watching her videos. They didn't just come for fun dances or the latest beauty tips. They came for the warmth and positive vibes she shared with them. Siyah's connection with her fans was very special. She didn't just post videos and disappear. She would respond to comments, like fans' posts, and even make videos answering questions from her followers. Many of her fans saw her as a friend. They looked forward to seeing her new posts and always waited to hear what she had to say next. It wasn't just fans who noticed Siyah's popularity. Other TikTok creators, famous brands, and even companies started reaching out to her. She was invited to do collaborations with other stars and was asked to try out new beauty products. These opportunities showed that Siyah was becoming more than just a TikTok star. She was turning into a brand. Because of all the success Siyah had already achieved at such a young age, people believed she had a bright future ahead of her. Everyone could see that Siyah was talented and hardworking. She wasn't just someone who posted funny videos for fun. She was someone who worked to make her videos better and more exciting every day. People started to think about all the amazing things Siyah could do in the future. Many believed that this was only the beginning. With her popularity and charm, she could easily branch out into other areas like acting, singing, or even creating her own fashion line. Her TikTok fans were already supporting her, so it wasn't hard to imagine her becoming even more successful in the future. Her talent didn't just stop with TikTok. Siyah's creativity shone through everything she did. She had a natural talent for making things look easy, but behind the scenes, she worked hard to make her videos interesting and fun. Her future looked bright, and many thought she would be the next big thing in social media and entertainment. There were even talks of Siyah possibly working with top brands, making commercials, or starring in movies. Fans could easily see her on the big screen, or walking the runway at a fashion show. With her growing popularity and amazing personality, it seemed like there was no limit to what Siyah could do. In addition to her TikTok fame, Siyah had many young people who looked up to her as a role model. They admired her confidence, her ability to stay true to herself, and her love for sharing what made her happy. Siyah was more than just a star on social media. She was a role model for young viewers everywhere, showing them how to be themselves and follow their dreams. At only 17 years old, Siyah was already changing lives, and many people believed she was just getting started. Everyone around her believed she had so much potential and could accomplish even more incredible things in the years to come. On January 18, 2025, Siyah, a 17-year-old TikTok star, went to the Los Cerritos Center Mall in Southern California with a few of her close friends. It was a normal Friday night for Siyah, just like any other teenager. She loved hanging out with her friends, shopping for clothes, and just having fun. They walked around the mall, checked out the latest fashion, and took pictures like most teenagers do when they're enjoying their time together. Everything seemed completely normal. There was nothing in the air that would have suggested anything unusual was going to happen that night. Everyone was in a good mood, laughing, chatting, and enjoying their time together. Siyah, like most teens, was doing what she loved, having fun, sharing laughs, and spending time with her friends. Her followers on social media knew her as a joyful, funny girl who always seemed to be smiling. But on this night, what should have been just another fun evening with friends was about to turn into something tragic. After a few hours at the mall, Siyah and her friends decided it was time to leave. They got into a car, and the plan was to head home or go somewhere else. The car was filled with laughter and light conversation. Siyah and her friends were joking around, talking about their favorite moments at the mall. As teenagers do, they were enjoying the ride, chatting about their day, and looking forward to what was next. Everything seemed normal, just a group of friends driving together, sharing stories and having fun. But things quickly began to change. As they continued driving, the atmosphere in the car shifted. They were unaware that something dangerous was waiting for them. While they were still laughing and talking, no one could have predicted that their night would soon take a tragic turn. What started out as a simple, fun evening with friends was now heading towards a shocking event that would change everything. Around 7:30 p.m., the fun and laughter in the car suddenly turned to fear and confusion. From the parking lot, loud gunshots rang out, echoing through the air. Witnesses who were in the area later reported hearing the shots and seeing a car parked in the lot where Siyah and her friends were. The sound of the gunfire was so sudden and shocking that it left everyone frozen in fear. Siyah had been in that car when the shooting occurred. The witnesses rushed the car to try to help, but it was too late. By the time they reached the vehicle, Siyah had been shot multiple times. She was unresponsive, and it was clear that something terrible had happened. The emergency responders arrived quickly, but the damage had already been done. Siyah was taken to hospital, but despite their best efforts, she was pronounced dead. The shooting shocked everyone. No one could understand how something so violent could happen so suddenly. A night that started as a fun and simple evening with friends ended in a tragedy that left people asking what went wrong and why. The witnesses, who had seen the car and heard the shots, were left with many questions. They wanted to know what led to the shooting and who was responsible for ending Siyah's life. Why did this happen? What could have caused someone to shoot? At this point, the police started their investigation, but there were still many things they didn't know. The most important question was, who shot Siyah? The police tried to find clues, but everything was unclear. There were no clear answers, only more questions. Was the shooting an accident, or was there a specific reason behind it? No one knew. The investigation continued, but the truth remained out of reach. The police also spoke to the friends who were in the car with Siyah that night. They asked them what had happened, but their stories were confusing. Some of them said they didn't know what happened, while others gave different details. This made the investigation even more difficult. Was someone hiding something? Or were they just scared? The police couldn't be sure. When Siyah Turner, the 17-year-old TikTok star, was shot outside the Los Cerritos Center Mall, the police came to the scene quickly. They wanted to find out what happened. The parking lot was chaotic, with people running around trying to help and others trying to figure out what had just occurred. Siyah was found in the car with gunshot wounds, and despite some brave efforts to save her, she sadly passed away. But one big question remained. What happened that night? The police started their investigation immediately. They spoke to Siyah's friends, who were all in the car with her. These friends had been with her just moments before the shooting, and the police hoped they would be able to answer some of the questions about what led to the tragedy. But when the police asked the friends what happened, something didn't seem right. Each friend gave a story, but their stories didn't match up. Some of the details were unclear. It felt like they weren't telling the whole truth. Why were their stories different? Were they hiding something, or were they just scared? It made the investigation even harder. The police couldn't figure out if they were getting the full story or if the friends knew more than they were saying. The police didn't just rely on what the friends said. They also checked the mall's CCTV footage. CCTV cameras are everywhere at malls, and they record what happens so the police can see what went on. The footage from that night was crucial. It might have shown who was near the car, who fired the shots, or even what happened in the minutes leading up to the tragedy. But when the police checked the video footage, they didn't get the answers they needed. The footage was blurry and unclear. The camera angles weren't great, and the footage didn't show much of what was happening around Siyah's car. It was hard to see who was involved. It was almost like the camera had missed the important moments. And without clear footage, the police were left with more questions and answers. Everyone wanted to know who fired the gun. Was it someone who had a problem with Siyah, or was it an accident? The blurry footage didn't help the police figure out. They couldn't see the shooter clearly, and that made things even more confusing. The lack of clear evidence left the investigation in a very tricky spot. The police had to keep digging to find out what happened. Since the friends were in the car with Siyah, the police needed to know what they saw. The police decided to bring the 4 friends in for questioning. They wanted to ask them more detailed questions to see if they could find out what really happened. These friends were the last people to be with Siyah before the shooting, so they could hold the key to solving the mystery. However, even though the police took the friends in for questioning, they didn't arrest anyone at first. That made people wonder, were the friends just witnesses, or were they involved in something bigger? Could one of the friends have known something and kept it hidden? Or maybe someone in the group was connected to the shooting in some way? The police didn't arrest anyone right away because they didn't have enough evidence to do so. They had to be careful and make sure they were not accusing anyone wrongly. But the fact that they brought in all 4 friends and kept them for questioning told the public that the police were suspicious. They didn't believe it was just a random shooting. There seemed to be more to the story than what was being said. The police continued to search for clues, but there were still too many unanswered questions. What really happened that night? Why did the friends give different stories? Was the shooting planned, or was it an accident? The investigation felt like a puzzle, but they were missing the most important pieces. The mall's CCTV footage was unclear, and the friends' stories didn't match up. As the investigation continued, people started to wonder, was Siyah's death the result of a random act of violence, or was someone close to her involved? The police had to work hard to figure out the truth, but the case was far from solved. Every piece of evidence they found seemed to raise more questions, and with no clear answers, the mystery of what happened to Siyah remained unsolved. Even though the police hadn't arrested anyone yet, the case was still open. They continued to ask questions and look for clues, hoping one day they would find the answers they needed. But as the days went by, the world continued to wonder, what really happened to Siyah Turner that night? The investigation was far from over, and the truth was still waiting to be uncovered. After the tragic death of Siyah Turner, the 17-year-old TikTok star, the world was shocked. Fans from all over started asking questions. They wanted to know what happened to her, why it happened, and who was responsible. When Siyah passed away, her followers on social media couldn't believe it. Siyah had made them laugh with her funny videos and dance challenges. She had millions of fans on TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms, and they loved her energy. So when they heard the news, they were devastated. Her fans filled social media with questions. They kept asking, what happened to Siyah? Was she in danger? Who did this to her? They couldn't understand how someone who seemed so full of life could suddenly be gone. Many of them felt like they had lost a friend, even though they had never met her in real life. Some of her fans believed the shooting was just a terrible accident. Maybe someone had shot at the car by mistake. They thought it might have been random, like a bad luck event. Others, however, thought it was something more. They believed Siyah's death wasn't an accident at all. They thought someone might have been targeting her on purpose. Why? They wondered. What could she have done to deserve this? Siyah's death became a mystery for her fans. They couldn't stop thinking about it, and they kept asking each other who would want to hurt her. The unanswered questions kept them up at night. As days went by, people began coming up with their own theories. These were ideas or guesses about what could have happened to Siyah. Since the police didn't have all the answers yet, many people started to guess what went wrong. Some fans thought that maybe Siyah had gotten into some kind of trouble with someone. They wondered if she had made someone angry, or if there was someone out there who didn't like her. Maybe there was a fight that no one knew about, and it ended badly. People speculated that maybe her death wasn't an accident, but instead something that happened because of a past problem. Others thought that Siyah's friends might know more than they were saying. These fans wondered if the people who were in the car with her were hiding something. They started asking, did her friends really tell the police everything? Were they telling the truth about what happened? Some fans thought her friends were involved in some way. They believed that maybe her friends were trying to protect someone or keep a secret. But still, no one knew for sure. These were all just ideas, guesses, and thoughts from people who cared about Siyah. Even though the police were still investigating, the fans kept guessing and talking about it. Everyone wanted answers, but there were so many different ideas, and no one could agree on what had really happened. Everyone seemed to have their own theory. While people were busy talking about their theories, there was one thing that brought them together: paying tribute to Siyah. Fans from all over the world wanted to remember her and show how much she meant to them. They didn't want her to be forgotten. On TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, fans posted videos, pictures, and messages to honor Siyah. They shared their favorite moments of her videos and kept talking about how much they loved her. They made special memorial posts, putting together pictures of Siyah with songs that reminded them of her. Some fans even made videos with the hashtag Remember Siyah to show their love and respect. Fans released balloons in her memory, decorated walls with her pictures, and created online memorials. They sang her favorite songs, danced like she used to, and kept talking about how much joy she had brought to their lives. Even though she was gone, her fans didn't want to forget her. They wanted her to always be remembered for the happiness she spread online. One of the biggest tributes came from other TikTok stars. Many of them posted their own memories of Siyah and expressed their sadness. They said she had been a kind, funny person who always made people smile. It was clear that Siyah had made a big impact, and her fans wanted to make sure the world knew how special she was. Despite all the theories and the tributes, the truth about what happened to Siyah that night is still unknown. Her fans continue to ask questions. Was it an accident? Was she targeted? What really happened? These are questions that no one can answer yet. The investigation continues, and the police are still trying to figure out who was responsible for Siyah's death. But in the meantime, her fans keep her memory alive with their tributes. They remember her not just a mystery of her death, but for the joy and love she shared with them through her videos. Do you think Siyah's death was an accident, or do you think someone was targeting her on purpose? Do you believe Siyah's friends are hiding something about what happened that night? The biggest question that everyone is asking is, who shot Siyah? Despite the police working hard on the case, they still don't know who did it. The parking lot where Siyah was shot was busy, but the person who pulled the trigger has not been caught. Was it just a random act of violence? Or did the person have a reason for targeting Siyah? It's very confusing because Siyah was loved by so many people, and no one knows why someone would want to hurt her. Some people think that maybe the shooting wasn't planned and that it was just an accident. Others believe that someone might have had a reason for doing it. Unfortunately, the police haven't shared any clear answers. They haven't said if they have any suspects or clues that could help solve the case. The mystery of who did it is still unanswered, and the world is waiting for the truth. Everyone hopes the police will find the person who did this, but so far, they haven't been able to. Another question that many people have is about Siyah's friends who were in the car with her when she was shot. These friends were there that night, but they haven't told the full story about what happened. Why won't they speak out? Did they see something that they don't want to share? Or were they involved in something that led to Siyah's death? Siyah's friends were all questioned by the police. 4 of them were even taken in for questioning, but no one has been arrested or charged. Some people think that maybe her friends know more than they're saying, but it's hard to know for sure. They might be afraid to speak, or they might be protecting someone. It's also possible that they didn't see much or are too scared to talk about what happened. Some people wonder if they were somehow involved in something dangerous that led to the shooting. But without their full story, it's hard to know if they were just innocent bystanders or if they played a part in what happened. One of the most frustrating parts of this story is that even though the police have been working on the case for a long time, there are still many questions without clear answers. Why is this case so hard to solve? The police have not told the public much about the investigation. There's not much information about what happened that night, and people are left wondering what's taking so long. Why aren't the police sharing more details? Some people think that the police might be keeping the information secret to protect the investigation. They don't want to give away too much, in case it could hurt their chances of finding the person responsible. Others think that the case is complicated and might take longer to solve. Maybe there aren't enough clues to make a quick arrest. Maybe the police are waiting for more information to come in before they can solve the case. But the truth is, no one knows why this case is taking so long. And as more time passes, people start to feel more and more frustrated. They want answers. They want to know who shot Siyah and why it happened. They want to know what her friends know and why they aren't saying everything. Right now, Siyah's death is still a mystery. We don't know who shot her, why it happened, or why her friends aren't telling everything they know. The police haven't been able to find the answers, and people everywhere are still asking questions. But even though we don't have answers yet, the search for the truth continues. The police are still working on the case, and hopefully one day the mystery will be solved. Until then, the world will keep asking, who did this to Siyah? What her friends know? Why is it so hard to get answers? These questions need to be answered so that Siyah can get the justice she deserves. We just have to keep waiting and hoping that the truth will come out. If the story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.